I'm afraid they're gonna judge me or say something because of who I am. So if you have the audacity to be over there with your white, straight masculineness, I can be over here chilling with myself and I can say what I need to say. You know what I mean? Hi, what's up? It's your man Jerome. It's back for another video. So the other day I turned 22. So today I'm gonna do 22 thoughts for 22 years of life. Let's go. Number 1, I don't have to respect someone for the sake of being nice. You know, we're taught to be respectful to everyone, you know, no matter what our views are, whatever, blah, 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 all that. No, if I see what you do or how you treat other people, or if I just genuinely think you're not a respectful person, I'm not going to respect you just for the sake of being nice, just for appearances, you know? Like, because at the end of the day, that's kind of telling the people around me that we're accepting that behavior. If you're a disrespectful person, if you talk badly about women or gays or blacks or something like that, I'm not going to pretend like I respect you if I don't respect you, you know? And I'm going to stop normalizing that because that's something you earn. People don't understand that that's something you earn, you know? That actually, you want to hear something sad? There's only a handful of men that I can actually say I respect. Because continuously in this society that we still live in, a lot of men have a lot of misconceptions and just hurtful and hateful stigmas about what a man is supposed to be. A lot. And it's so ingrained. It's because of that I cannot respect a lot of men because of just how I see how they treat people around them. You know what I mean? Especially white men. Actually, not even really white, definitely white men, but really men in general, it's very hard to find really respectable ones because they just hold on to some core beliefs that have been instilled in them by their parents or by somebody, but it's toxic and it's harmful to other people. So yeah. 2, most things are a marathon, not a sprint. 3, I have no obligation to let people into my personal space. My personal space is comprised of people who have certain characteristics and who I feel will help me thrive and survive and just live in life. If you're deterring my journey and my process, I can't have you in my personal space. 4, normalize being uncomfortable / making other people uncomfortable. Yes. Because, how do I want to say this? By this I mean we grow up in a society that inherently tells us specific things are bad. And when we don't actually identify with that specific thing, we're just gonna believe it. You know what I mean? Like, oh, that's true. So I'm not a woman. So a lot of stuff that's been ingrained in me, I've had to unlearn about women. No, they can do the same things that we are. No, they're not more emotional. We're just taught to repress our emotions as men. It's just, it's about, this is the time really to start thinking about how we function in society and what has been working and what has worked for us, and what has worked for us doesn't necessarily work for other people. And it's time to stop. Group mentality is a bitch. Like, somebody make a joke and it might be inappropriate, but we're all going to laugh because, we don't want to make anybody uncomfortable. No, I'm done with that. I'm done with it because at the end of the day, how are we going to learn and change if we're too uncomfortable to even speak up about us feeling a certain type of way in a space, And no, I'm not going to sit in my uncomfortableness and let y'all joke when I'm uncomfortable. We're all gonna be uncomfortable next. So I'm gonna ask you, why did you say so-and-so and so-and-so? You know what I mean? And you have to be open to receiving that, not just be like, oh, it was a joke, blah, blah, blah. No, because we're not gonna change. Because if we're in a group and somebody says something racist to me, we're not gonna get it. We're not gonna understand how it's racist if I'm just like, oh, that's so funny, yeah, right? Like, I'm so black. It's like, wow, I should just go back to Africa. Like, it's so crazy. Like, we're not gonna, I need to call you out. Why would you say that? I'm born here. I don't need to go back to Africa because my family, my ties are here. You know what I mean? That's just an example that actually hasn't happened. But just the simple fact of calling people out and saying, this is not checking anybody, but just having a discussion about it. And so 1, you need to be open to being uncomfortable. And number 2, you need to be receptive to that, and not argue back. Just listen and you go back and you think about it over a night and really do some digging and some truth seeking, because at the end of the day, like I've been saying, we grow up in a society that's racist, that's misogynistic, and all these things. So any type of rebuttal that you're going to think of to justify what you said is stemming from your upbringing that was rooted in misogyny and racism and homophobia, etc. The rebuttal that you're already going to come up with for even saying that most likely stems from the problematic institution that we have all grown up in. And so first you need to be called out for it, but you also need to think about it and see, is there any validity to this? Because there probably is. If somebody's going out of their way to speak up about how they're feeling, there's probably some validity to it, period. Trust your instincts, always. 6 and 7 go with each other. 6 is be young, wild, and free some days. And then 7, be quiet, attentive, and receptive on others. My journey is not linear. Yes. Some days are just about getting through the pain and grief and just overall junk that life gives you. It's just getting through that day so you can get through the next day. That's a hard one to learn, and it's gonna feel like, just like, why is this always happening to me, blah, blah. But honestly, the next day is usually fine. Yesterday I had a shit day, and today I'm chilling. Just get through the day, do the motions, get through it. The better day is tomorrow, most likely. 10, speak to yourself like you would speak to your best friend. We are so hard on ourselves as individuals. I started catching myself. I used to be like, oh, I'm so stupid. When I would just do like something like dumb, like if I forgot my water bottle at home, I'd be like, oh, I'm so stupid. And I didn't actually realize how much I did that until recently. Oh my gosh, I'm really so stupid. No, I'm not. I'm forgetful. When I started calling myself out on it and being like, no, I'm not stupid, I'm just forgetful sometimes. Because we manifest what we say to ourselves, and we don't understand it at the time. We think it's just a joke, like, oh, I didn't really mean that. But like I said, I didn't even realize how much I say it. And manifestation is real. Like, the more you put into the atmosphere and vocalize stuff, I feel like the more we internalize it. So while we might not actually be thinking, oh, I think I'm so stupid while saying it, it manifests themselves. It manifests that feeling in different ways. And it comes out when you're at your most vulnerable. You're like, I am stupid, blah, blah, all this stuff. So basically, speak to yourself nicely. I wouldn't tell my best friend you're stupid, like when they forgot their water bottle. Like, I forgot my water bottle, chill. Like, you know what I mean? So start talking to yourself like you're an actual person. Like you're an actual person. Meditation is key. 12, empathy for others is key. 13, talking about race is not political. And this I just recently kind of came to, because for so long we have made race political. Like, our rights, we've literally made our rights political, just like we make gay things political. These are rights. These are actual people, y'all. These are actual people. Just because you're living in a white fantasy does not mean you can tell us what black people should and shouldn't have, or what gay people should and shouldn't have. It's not a political thing. And on top of that, I wrote it down because it's important. To all my white viewers, your ancestors created this divide between white and black people in America. That's just on period. It is your responsibility to mend that separation through conversation. And I'm going to add, you cannot dictate or control these conversations. Like, it's not on your terms. That's what I wrote down. It's not on your terms, because if it was on your terms and it worked, we'd be fine. But guess what? We're in 2020, and I have multiple adults telling me that this is like 1960, who lived through 1960s. They're saying this reminds me of 1960s. That's a problem. And if y'all empower and y'all knew what we wanted, this wouldn't happen. So, like I said, it's not on your terms. You cannot create the oppression and the divide and then say, well, okay, we did that, but we know what you need now. No, we're telling you what we need. You just don't want to listen because it's too radical, or it's too anti-white. No, just wanting stuff for us, wanting us to progress in life is not anti-white. It's tearing down white supremacy, which is seen as anti-white. But actually, if you want equality, you're going to have to step down for the pedestal and actually be on the same level as us. You know? So even with these conversations when you're having with friends and just talking about just hard issues, I know we've been having it in my house recently, let your black counterparts speak. Because like I said earlier, oppression and racism and misogyny and all the other isms are ingrained in us. And the only people who understand them really are the people who, number one, do their research, or number two, actually experience them. So for you to try to argue with, if you're a man trying to argue with a woman, or a white person trying to argue with a black person, that makes no sense, because you didn't experience any of this and you're just going off of what this racist society has told you is acceptable. When we know the society is racist and you've been following it, so why are you not listening to the people who it actually affects? So yeah, race is not political. So stop getting jumpy and stop being, oh my God, like I don't want to talk about race, blah, blah. We have to, because it's not going to go away. This is me, that is you. White is not the default, and saying black is not a protest, okay? And talking about the issues in black culture are not a protest. And actually, if we actually were to do this more, we probably wouldn't be where we were in 2020 because we would have known all these problems. I'm hearing a lot of white people say, I didn't know the black people had it so hard. I didn't know all this was happening. How did you not know? Because you were okay with living in that ignorance. And we're done with that. So stop politicizing this, please. Perform first and foremost for your inner self and soul instead of the exterior audience that you might be actually performing to. 15, when people show you who they really are, believe them. The first time. Not the second, not the third, the first. Your time and presence is limited. Your time is like money, and you're gonna spend it on only things that you actually feel will benefit your life. Just like I'm only gonna give my time to people who I feel like will benefit from my presence. I don't have to give you my time, and I don't have to. I'm not going to if I don't feel like you're gonna value it, because I have other things I can be doing, other people I can be spending my time with who actually care and who actually want me around rather than you who kind of just tolerates me. You understand? Speak how you feel. Nothing gets resolved with bottled up emotions. You know what I mean? Basically what I said, if you feel uncomfortable in a situation, speak up and say it. And nothing's gonna get done if you don't say anything. The only thing that's gonna happen is that you're just gonna be uncomfortable, and everybody else might be chill, but you're gonna be uncomfortable. And do you want to be uncomfortable in a setting that you don't might potentially could get better? No. So, and if people don't want to hang out with you because, oh, they're always so serious, blah, 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 they always bring up stuff, don't hang out with, you don't have to be with them, because at the end of the day, people who you are with should be okay with making you feel comfortable. Like, there shouldn't be a debate or discussion about, well, I just meant it as a joke. No, if it made me feel uncomfortable, it made me feel uncomfortable, period. So if you don't feel that way, we don't have to hang out, period. Because I don't want to feel uncomfortable in a space. And to go off of that one, I cannot control how people react. I can only speak my truth. So I hear a lot of times people are like, oh, I don't say that because I don't want to make them mad. I don't say that because I know they're going to do this, blah, blah, blah. That's not for you to worry about. That's not for you to worry about. You put yourself out there and you put how you're feeling out there. That's all you can do. Then the other person has the choice to either change their behavior, to address it, or to completely ignore it. That's on them. But at the end of the day, you spoke your truth and you said what you needed to say, instead of just being okay with the unspoken disrespect, if that's what you felt. You know what I mean? So nothing gets done with zipped lips. Ooh, 19, I am black and gay, period. And I say that to say, do not apologize for the space you take up. You know, in society, we're told, unless you are a white, straight man, you're going to feel out of place in a lot of spaces, and that's just on period. And you know, that can get to you in the space. You're like, oh, I feel like I don't deserve to be here. Let me tell you something. If you're alive and you're a good person, you deserve to be in the space, period. And we are so often swayed by the majority. You know, we're in a room with all white males and it's like, oh, I'm afraid they're gonna judge me or say something because of who I am. So if you have the audacity to be over there with your white, straight masculineness, I can be over here chilling with myself and I can say what I need to say. You know what I mean? Because people, and at the end of the day, that's my business and that's your business. I'm not going to judge you if you don't judge me. I will judge you if you say something disrespectful or stupid. But at the end of the day, if you're just being you and you're just a masculine, white, straight man, but you're a good person, that's fine. And that's fine. And I am a gay black man. You know, and in these spaces, we're taught that if we're not that we're wrong. You know, even just saying right now that I'm a black gay man is like a little tinge. Like, black still has a tinge because, you know, everybody wants to be white. Or black is political. So that has still a little bit of a tinge, but not as much. But gay, even still saying gay, because I am gay, but I don't really refer to myself as that. I usually, if I'm trying to allude to the fact that I usually am like, oh, he's so cute, or oh, like, I don't know, I'll say something that is gay oriented about a man, not like, oh my God, his high heels or something. Like, no, like, because being gay is being attracted to the same sex. So I will say something like, oh, he's cute. So I don't really say like I'm gay. So even doing it right now, like, my body is like, oh, what you doing? Are you sure you want to say that? Because like I said, when we're in spaces, we are taught to dismiss the parts of ourselves that are not the standard, which, like I said, are the white straight man. So a lot of times we don't like to bring up our blackness in white spaces because it makes the white majority uncomfortable. Fuck that, I'm over it. We don't like to bring up gay issues with straight people. Fuck that, we're over it. Like, we need to be comfortable with being with other people who aren't like us and talking about issues that affect them. Hello? We're so egocentric. We only care about us and making ourselves comfortable. What about the person next to us? Are they comfortable? Are they? Might not be. and they're just keeping it bottled up. So that's why I said speak out. You gotta speak. 20, talent cannot be used to measure somebody's worth. Even though we do it all the time, do not do it. It's dangerous. Seasonal friends will make sure to be there when it's convenient for them. Good or great friends will make sure to be there, period. And 22, the big 22. Be grateful for where you are, but also still be striving for where you want to be. People are always like, be grateful for what you have. It's not a bad thing to want more, to want better for yourself or for society or for your people. That's not bad. In fact, that's what you should be doing, because you should never be just complacent in life and just okay with where you are. But going off of what I just said and actually refuting my last sentence, you should accept where you are and say, okay, I am here. This is where my abilities have gotten me. I want to be there, but I am okay right here because I know I worked to get here and I know I'm going to work to get there. It's okay to say that, because we're so hard on ourselves. I know, especially with me, with my singing voice, it's a constant battle because I'm still insecure about it, but it's a constant battle where it's like, even today I would just sing. I had to take a break because I was getting so frustrated with myself. It's like, why can't I just open my mouth and sing and it just be fine? That's just not my journey. That's not my journey. And at the end of the day, I have to be okay with the 10 years of voice lessons I've taken to even get to where I am. You understand? Whereas people who have had the same training as me some are not where I am, and some are more than where I am. I have to be okay with where I am, because that's just the reality of the situation. And I have to accept the reality of the situation or I won't progress. You know what I mean? That was the last one, so thank you. If any of y'all want me to elaborate on any of these, because I can talk for days, period, please just let me know. Say it in the comments, and yes. But yeah, thanks for watching.